What's up, you guys? SlimXTeamSymmetry here to bring you guys an episode of Slim Psychology today. That's right, you guys, Slim Psychology. I have not done this segment in months. It may even have been a year or more since I've done this segment, since the last time I did this segment. And the reason being is that I really couldn't find things that I wanted to discuss kind of in that form of this segment. There were so many different decks that came out. There were so many different strategies, so many different versions of the deck, so many like tech cards that were coming out, and I felt that a lot of other channels had covered them a lot better and a lot faster than I did, and I felt that there was no need to really, do this segment. I wasn't even sure if I was going to bring this segment back, but then when the new Forbidden list came for the TCG, I looked at a lot of the things that changed in like a lot of the decks I wanted to run, cards I had to drop, decks I had to put to the side, and I noticed something about pretty much every deck I was trying to build, as well as my friends were trying to build, and that was we needed to utilize to our best ability the one-ofs in this game, the powerful one-ofs that really can kind of define and pretty much determine how the game is going to turn out, depending on when you activate these cards and how you activate these cards. So the 6 cards I have in front of you are just like the main examples of cards that are your like most dominant one-ofs in the game. The main ones to focus on are Bottomless Trap Hole, which was at 2 and now is at 1. The Torrential Tribute was at 2, now it's back at 1. And Compulsory, which was unlimited, is now at 1. And Solemn Warning was at 1 at the last list, but I still included it because I think it's definitely one of the most powerful cards in the game right now. And it's ridiculous, like, when you warning, like, it literally just is a complete blowout a lot of times, depending on what deck you're playing against. And, I do have the Dark Hole and the Book of Moon. But the whole point of this video today is going to be talking about utilizing the powerful one-ofs. I could have included other cards, but these are the cards that I felt were the most relevant in a lot of decks I've seen people play. Since other cards like Fiendish Chain and Mirror Force are at 2 or more, I felt there was no point to include them since they're you can use multiple copies. So I just wanted to focus on these ones. So I'm going to start with the 2 spells since there's only 2 of them. So the new list ban-hammered our main staple cards. They banned Reborn, they banned Heavy, they banned Pot of Avarice. Most people would say, where's Mind Control in here? There was a time that Mind Control was a staple in pretty much every deck. During like Dino Rabbit format, there was in Wind-Up format, Insector format, everyone was running Mind Control. It was just really good for XYZ and for just taking cards and then going for game. It was a really good card. But I noticed recently, and I know a lot of people have noticed, is a lot of people don't run Mind Control. If they do, it's a tech in. If they side it, it's a side tech. Then most of the time, you just don't see it at all. So that's why I didn't include it in here. But if the format shapes up to be that people are running Mind Control, I'll definitely include it in a separate video. But I wanted to focus on these 2. So we'll start with Dark Hole. So Dark Hole has been around since the beginning of the game. And last format, this card pretty much got just like everyone like turned their nose up at this card for the fact that it wasn't really that good. It was terrible against dragons for the fact that, okay, you Dark Hole them, they're just going to bring back the same field. They're just going to bring back all the dragons. If you get desperate and Dark Hole a Drago Sack and it has tokens, Drago Sack survives, and then if they have material, they just make 2 more tokens. So basically, it was kind of a useless card for the fact that they would just recur the same field. It was also really bad against Evil Sworn because they would just flip Pandemic and it'd be like, well, thanks for wasting one of your like most powerful cards. And that was the thing, is that a lot of people didn't like this card. A lot of people cut this card from the main deck and didn't even side it at all. So this card wasn't seeing a lot of play. But then spellbooks, being as ridiculous as they were with Spellbook of Judgment and ending the board with Jowgen, Kaiku, and other crazy stuff, people started to realize I need an instant out to that field, and Dark Hole was one of those answers. I know there were other answers. There was Last Day of the Witch, there was Lightning Vortex, but Dark Hole will always be the OG card for the fact that it's been around forever, and it began to see more play on the main deck for the fact that it sucked having to stare down a Kaiku and a Jowgen if you're running Dragon Ruler, for the fact that you needed to Dark Hole. And I mean, if they have Wisdom, they can save one, but they can't save both, so hopefully you have a strategy to get around the other one. But Dark Hole was just needed because sometimes Dark Hole was a blowout. Dark Hole and Storm were like your main ways of beating spellbooks when they open so broken, so having this card was just really important. And now this format, I feel this card's important again because it's an original staple and it's just good. Like, field clearing is good, mass destruction is good. It can kind of like Torrential, it can punish people when they overextend, and then you can Dark Hole and then clear their board, and then pretty much they're back to square one. So that's kind of like what Dark Hole is. It's like a reset card for people that overextend. You Dark Hole and then you like go for game. So this card's really good, and I think people will definitely be main decking it. Unlike last format where they cut it from the deck for the fact it wasn't it was subpar against some decks, but I think that it should always be included. So that's Dark Hole. Now, Book of Moon is ridiculous. Had Book of Moon come to 2 or 3, I think it would have been like the greatest thing ever, because this card is so ridiculous. I was watching Fraser's deck profile that he had with Jarrell, and he said something really good. He said it's good. He said it's good for Yu-Gi-Oh! That this card is good for Yu-Gi-Oh! Of all the things it can do, and it really can do a lot. It's able to stop XYZ summons. It's able to stop synchro summoning. It's able to save monsters from cards like Bottomless Trap Hole, cards like there's just so many ways to dodge things with Book of Moon. You're able to like save monsters. You're able to make effects go off. Like you summon something, they veil, or you chain book. You're able to do so many cool plays like that. Book of Moon, like I'm not going to spend the whole video talking about Book of Moon because like literally I could because of how much I love this card. But it's definitely a card that I think is going to be in pretty much almost every main deck. It's so good, and I think like had it come to 2 or 3, like the format would be even crazier because a lot of decks would be able to have a lot more defense. What I like about it is it's a defense card. You can use it offensively. You can do so many things with this card. It's definitely a staple, and hopefully in the future we'll see hopefully it at 2 or maybe 3, but I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, Book of Moon is definitely a staple in pretty much every deck. It just has so many versatile plays that I think most people should just include it regardless. So that's it for the main spells, for the fact that, like I said, Heavy Storm's gone. Monster Reborn's gone, Pot of Avarice is gone. Those were like the main 5 staples that every deck included. Now we're going to get into the traps. So we'll start with Torrential. We'll start with Torrential. So Torrential was at 2 last format, and Torrential was just a really good card. It was field clearing. It did a lot of good stuff. A lot of decks didn't run it though, like decks like Prophecy didn't need it. Dragons never needed it. A lot of decks like Evil Sworn, some of them ran it, some of them did not. Decks like Constellars, like lower tier decks at the time, were probably main decking this card. It was just a really good card. It was good during Mermail format. Yeah, Mermail, the Mermail mat. It was good during that format, just for the fact that people, they go ham, they go diva, they go marksman, they do all these crazy things. You Torrential, put them back to square one, or at least try to, against that matchup. And now with the card back at 1, back to the way it used to be, I think like the really cool thing about this is them putting these main trap cards to 1 is that you really need to know when to use these cards. You can't activate them so early that later on in the game, if you're behind, you don't have a way to come back. Because Torrential is one of those cards that can like Dark Hole reset the board and get you back in the game when other cards cannot. Like it punishes bad players when they overextend. If they're trying to go for game, like some people just do it. Like everyone does it. I do it. A lot of people try to do that. We try to go for game, and it was a lot harder when there were 2 Torrential and people were maining it because you summon more than 1 or 2 monsters. They Torrential, like they're already ahead of you, and that's what kind of sucks. So now with Torrential at 1, it's a lot. I like it at 1. It's balanced at 1. It was one of those. It was one of the OG traps that was always at 1. So I kind of like it back at 1. And you just need to know when to activate it because if you waste it early, like later on in the game, you're going to miss it because it's just a really good card and just really beneficial in a lot of crazy situations. So Torrential is just really good, and I'm glad it's at 1. And I know most decks will probably include it in the main deck. I'd be very surprised if they don't, unless they just for the main reason don't need it. So Torrential is just really good. The next one, I'll get Warning out of the way. Warning was at 1 last format. Same thing. One thing about this card, though, is that it's so ridiculous. I felt, like in my testing, it's been so ridiculous because with no storm around, you can set 4 or 5 back row. I mean, I wouldn't set 5 for the fact that black rows can just like ruin your day if you don't have like a Fiendish Chain or a Veiler or this card. Like this card, if you have this card, you're pretty much safe if they don't Typhoon it away or something, because Warning being able to stop pretty much any summon is ridiculous because it can be game ending. Like if you Warning a Gorge, you Warning a Tragodia when you're trying to go for game, you pretty much have it right there, unless they for some reason have a Scarecrow or like some other crazy hand trap. But Warning definitely just is just one of the best cards for the fact that being able to stop anything, being able to stop that Black Rose play, being able to stop a Stardust. Like Stardust is so powerful this format. I've noticed that since a lot of people are running Dragoonities, the ability to protect Stardust it's very hard to play around because you can't use Mirror Force, you can't use Torrential, you can't use Dark Hole. They're just going to negate, and then just keep coming back, keep coming back. So Solemn Warning is one of those cards that being able to outright stop a summon is just so important. It's just so crucial against a lot of these matchups. Stopping initial summons is really important too. Like if you're playing against decks like Dark World or something like that, and they're trying to get Grapha back from grave, and you're warning the main Dark World, they can't do that. So I think Warning is just a really good card, and I'm pretty sure every deck that will include it. Maybe outside of Dragon Rulers because they don't really seem to need it, but it's definitely just an amazing card and an amazing one of in the game right now. All right, Compulse. So this kind of threw me off. Like, honestly, this card's been at 3 forever. I never saw this coming when this card went to 1. It really shocked me because it was one of those traps that you would include either a 1, maybe 2 max copy in your deck, or you would side deck the card, and it was just a really good card. And now that it's at 1, I feel that it's pretty much a staple in almost every deck because, kind of like Book of Moon, it can do so many cool things. You can use it offensively, you can use it defensively. I think the main thing, like everyone knows about Compulse, is being able to just get rid of an XYZ summon, get rid of a synchro summon so easily, like Stardust. Like, I'm going to bring Stardust up a lot because Stardust is so powerful. Being able to just compulse Stardust and not have to worry about it is just something amazing. And that's what I like about this card, is like you can get rid of problem cards like Stardust, Zenmaines, Gaios, like all these cards that can really shut you down. This card is just really versatile. But once again, like Torrential and Warning, you need to know when to activate it, because if you waste this card early on, you can be like, it can be a real downhill battle, because this card is another card that can kind of reset a crazy field and get you back into the game, for the fact that it does eliminate problem cards at a good time. Other things it can do, you guys know, is that it can save your own monsters. Like if you're summoning a crucial monster, I had a play where I summoned Dark Arm Dragon, goes bottomless, chain Compulse, get Dark Arm back, and summon Dark Arm, and it was like a blowout from there. So Compulse is just a really good card, and even at 1, I think it should be included in the main deck just because it's so good. It does a lot of things. And this format, like the traps you use they're not as many as you used before, since they're down to, most of them are down to 1, but this card's just really good and it does a lot. And I think a lot of people agree with me that it's definitely a card you should include, because you're going to come into situations where you're always going to want this card, and with it at 1, it doesn't clog really in your deck, so I really like it at 1. And then just the last card to talk about, Bottomless Trap Holes. Bottomless Trap Hole was at 2 last format. The card was really good if you were running like a stun-based deck, for the fact that it could get rid of problematic cards like Dragos. I can get rid of Big Eye. This card can get rid of pretty much everything. With Priority gone, it can get rid of pretty much everything big that gets in your way. With it at 1 now, once again, you need to know when to activate it. Activating it too early, activating it on a summon that you can pretty much get around is kind of pointless. Bottomless is just there kind of like for like the final kill. I've noticed in playing is that when you've used your monsters, you've used your other resources in your deck, and then they summon like that last push, you're able to bottomless and get rid of it and pretty much clear their board. Like, it's just really good in those situations. It's good like against BLS, against Chaos Sorcerer, against those cards that just, they're really like, when they come to the board, it's like, well, damn, that really sucks. So Bottomless is just really versatile. And at 1, like all these cards, like I've noticed, like one thing, like I've said pretty much throughout this whole video, is knowing when to activate these cards, like these main trap cards, for the fact that they're going to come into situations where it used to be, oh, I got multiple copies of these. Okay, so if I burn one Bottomless, I got another one in the deck. Oh, I burn a Compulse, oh, I got another one in the deck. Or I have 2 more in the deck. Torrential, oh, I burn one, I get another one. But now, with them at 1, Warning, was different because it was at 1. But now, with these cards at 1, I think it's very important that all players use them at just at the right time. Like, what you feel is the right time based on the situation you're in. Because sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes, if you're both in top decking mode, your opponent top decks a monster, and, they go to do it. You got a Torrential for 1, just so you don't die that turn. Like, sometimes it sucks, but sometimes that's a situation it calls for. But most of the time, these cards will be used like really versatilely, and I think that that's what I'm going to really enjoy about this format, is that these powerful one-ofs are going to be seen in pretty much every deck, and skillful players, really good players, are going to know how to use these cards, and like all of us can learn like through that, and learn through playtesting and through just like a lot of like grinding and testing how to properly use these cards at the right situations, because they all do amazing things, and I think together they're just amazing for the game in general. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm sorry if I seem rusty in this segment. It's just been a while. I'm excited to do it though. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thumbs up. Let me know if you guys want me to continue this segment. If you have any other ideas, I'd love to hear them in the comments section below, because like I said, I wasn't really sure what I could talk about on this segment, but I felt that this was a good start because it really caught my attention, and I thought it was something that I'd definitely bring to you guys. So anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this. Are you going to be including these traps in your deck? Are you going to be using these cards? How do you feel these cards really impact the game? Like, how versatile are they in certain situations? Like, what's your favorite play with Compulse? What's your favorite play with with like Warning, like all these other things? Honestly, like your favorite plays with Book of Moon and Compulse, because they can do so many things. So I think that that's pretty interesting. And I just hope you guys enjoyed this, because I want to keep doing this segment, and hopefully if it gets this gets good feedback, I can continue it, and hopefully you guys can give me some new ideas for this segment. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thumbs it up, and thank you for watching.